Okay guys, just to clarify something, I thought I would rather redo this video because my previous video for some reason it does not have sound. I mean on my iPad it's playing the sound normally, but somehow when I'm transferring it to my PC in order to upload it, it does not have sound. So here's the thing, this whistle again after seeing my last video. He's always responding like that, you know. When I'm posting a video, he sees the video, and then he's trying to change something. He's re-editing his post to again, because of debunking all the bullshit he's trying to pull off, you know, all the lies he's saying. He's every time he sees my video where I'm debugging his shit, he goes back and re-editing his stuff, and again he did that again, the same bullshit today. And yesterday also, after I published my latest video. And so here's what I'm talking about. Just a moment. He edited his post on of course on my games page. He edited this latest post. But this is all just bullshit, but nothing too important. More important is here what I wanna talk about here in his topic about the new. Let me show myself. About the new game he's pretending he's working, and he is now changing it, and he's trying to pretend he's not using my game. He's distancing himself. I mean, he's not, but this is the lies he's saying when he's re-editing his post, okay? As I showcased yesterday. So he's now pretending in this new game he's not using my work and this and that. And yesterday when I debunked and I also talked about specific, even about this specific sprite if he's using, even though as we can see here, as I talked yesterday about, from this screenshot alone, you can clearly see he's using my game. This is my game, and he just changed the select screen to look differently. But this is my game. You see, all this is my stuff. But the thing I'm wanna focus is this right here, this new edit he made. Okay, you can see this is he had this post yesterday again after the video I made, you know, where I talked about this bullshit. And he now comes back and re-edited again because I talked about the fact that even he's only using this one sprite, which I can tell it is from my game, okay? And I explained what this is about. It's not about the IP, but it's about the whole work I did, okay, to rip the sprites, clean them up, working on the color palettes and all the stuff, you know, to make them ready to use for open board or for other games and stuff, you know. And this is why people are expecting credits, okay? And this is what I talked yesterday. And today, because I talked about all this bullshit today, so he had it again his post, and this is what I want to focus. He made this edit. He's talking about, of course, this is, I think this was already here, about how he, so these are the sprites from my game, this and this one, okay? Roper and a Bob, okay? This is a new one he's adding. And you can already see from the different canvas color, you know, because I'm using this greenish canvas color. This is, you can see this sprite he took from somewhere else, okay? And this is from my game again. But again, I explained yesterday because it's clear as day. They are bigger side. The normal, normally the double dragon sprites, they are all smaller. You can just check it by yourself from this download link he's providing here from a sprites resource website. Okay, you can compare them. The original double dragon sprites, they are smaller. My sprites, they are 2x. Also, I can tell from the position a Bobo is in this green canvas, you know. I can tell these are my sprites 100%. There's no way denying that, okay? He only just added this blue eye, he made him, and this some blood pixels and stuff. This is all he did, you know. But the fact is, he's using my sprites, you know, and it's again, it's about the work I make, okay. But again, it's not about the sprites alone. The fact is, he's still using my game. This is the bigger picture here, okay. But I just was nitpicking yesterday, and I was just saying, even if he only uses this sprite alone, you know, this was just an example of me, okay. And alone because of this fact, he just edited today, and because I talked about this, that even if he's using only this sprite, he still has to give some credit, because it was some work involved for him to have this sprite ready to go, you know. Even though, again, he's still using my whole game, it's not just the sprite, but I was just giving an example, okay. And this is the edit he did, you know. Look, what a fucking idiot. I mean, this is really okay. He's talking here about again this idea, and this is the edit he did, the new edit he did. He's stating here this sprites, he's trying to protect like he did a lot of work. This sprites, he's talking about this blood mode, so he's adding some blood and stuff on the sprites, okay. This is what this is. And again, because I talked about the sprites, these are my sprites, so he's pretending like he got them from this sprite resources website, okay. And so he's like editing the post today again, or yesterday after my video, and he's saying like, oh look, this was so much work to do. So, and this exactly is my point, you know. This is his bullshit. This is how you can see how what malicious intent this person had, you know. You know what I mean. And this is why I did this was the point for me when I first contacted him. This was the point when I immediately recognized his malicious intent, you know, and that he has no respect for the work that we people who are creating games. He has no respect for us and for our work, you know. And you can read it all here. In one hand, he's pretending like, oh, it was a lot of work to do. Only this few pixels of blue eye he made to a bubble, and these blood pixels, you know. This was for him a lot of work to do. He can recognize that. But when it comes to me asking for credits for using my whole game, you know, and as you can see, to this day, there's no credits and no mention of me, okay? This is why I contacted him, okay? His first excuse was immediately, oh, you know, you don't, and you can see his excuse. He's also stating, you see, that's a funny thing with these people. They are telling themselves, they try to hide all the bullshit, while they are actually trying to keep telling themselves, you know, without realizing that. And here you can read it. Here, this link he's posting, okay, from the Sprite's website, Sprite Resources website, where he's pretending he got this one, okay, which is a lie, of course, okay. Exactly, look in this hyperlink he has created, what he's saying. So here's a good resources spread site. Of course, Sprite Resources website is very known website, okay. And he is saying this is where he got it, and also look what he is stating. Ripples from the Double Dragon games that are available to the public, although still copyright protected. And you see, this is why he's mentioning that. He's trying to imply, you know, he's not but you see, this is how sleazy he is. Because he knows this is all bullshit, okay. He knows this is all just a bullshit excuse, and I explained it to him why this is bullshit excuse, and it is not about the IP, it is about the work, you know, the work. Everyone who is making a game, he is spotting off, ripping the sprites by himself, and okay, some people are using sprites from websites, but these sprites I ripped all by myself, okay, and everything, the music, everything, all the stuff, and I programmed the whole game myself. But this was his excuse as of to why he is not willing to give him a credit. In his mind, I don't know if he really believes that, but I don't think he really does, because he will then just stating this clearly here. But you see, with this vague language he's using, I think he knows it's bullshit, but for some reason he just want to refusing to just be honest about it, you know, and acknowledge the work he's taking and trying to make his own, you know. And you can you can say that from this statement he's trying to make in this hyperlink where he's posting uh, about the sprites website, where he's pretending he got the sprites, even though I can tell you 1,000,000% this is from my game, the sprite. While he's lying to his teeth, very clear lie, he's saying he took it from this website, and as justification, just in case someone will try to tell him otherwise, that's why he's putting this text in this hyperlink, where he's trying to cite, give the link from this website. He's also writing this text on top of the hyperlink that, this is copyrighted material. Yes, it is copyrighted material. If you click on this website, he's posting on this very website, and this is the example I was making before, okay? You go to such a website, okay? Let's go to the Double Dragon. What is Double Dragon? For example, or any game. You can just pick a random game, okay? Okay, I'm just trying to open the sprite sheet. Okay. Okay. You can see the guy who uploaded it, okay? But maybe it was not the guy who ripped the sprite. Some people just taking for software and uploading in this website. But the people who rip the sprites themselves, okay, they are expecting some credit, you know. Okay, let me, because I wanted to give you some examples. These fucking ads. Of course, they're staying in the way. And just a moment. What is Double Dragon? For example, Double Dragon. Because I'm sure, because I have seen it many times. Okay, here no one is asking for credit, but I have seen, I mean, it's a common thing, you know. He's also said, okay, it's a Double Dragon. But anyways, let's go to the Bobo. Where is a Bobo? But you can see the name of the people who are uploading, okay? And usually the people are expecting some credit, you know. But here is the thing. You see, he's pretending, anyways. He's pretending this sprite he got from here, but you can see how small it is. You know what I mean? It's not a good way to demonstrate that, but my sprites are 2x upscaled, okay? And I can immediately recognize also these sprites. You can see they are narrower. They have this different aspect ratio. You know, this is another way to tell. They're narrower and they are having more height. You know what I mean? But if you look at my sprites, the sprites of my game, because this is what I did. Look at the bubble. He's wider. You know what I mean? Because they are having the original sprites. When you rip the original sprites, they are having this weird aspect ratio that original Double Dragon games using. You know, but I made them to be the sprites themselves in 4 to 3 aspect ratio. The original Double Dragon game is not having this 4 to 3 aspect ratio. You know what I mean? So this is another way to tell that this sprite is from my game. Okay. Anyways, but again, I picked as far as credits go, I picked a bad example. But in many spreadsheets, people are sometimes, I mean, this is what I was looking for. Sometimes it's on the spreadsheet himself. People are stating their name, okay, and they are writing the name, and they're stating, okay, please give credit if you use. But again, not everyone is expecting credits, or sometimes the people who are uploading, they are not the people who rip the sprites themselves, okay? That's why this is not a reliable example from my point. But again, my whole point, it's not about the sprites, but I just want to pointing this out because when I was giving this just an example as of to, even for that, since he is doing this whole thing without my permission, and again, I told him he's not having my permission just because the moment I pointed out to him, just imagine, he's just taking my whole game, you know. He was stating he would just wanna do some cosmetic changes, and you know, this was one of the changes he made. So he changed the select screen, and he was planning a few other cosmetic changes to do, okay, which is okay. But then opening a new topic and pretending, writing all the stories about the background and his ideas and what he wants to do and this and that, and not mentioning me. And then when I'm asking him for credit, or why not mentioning he's using my game, he was giving me this bullshit right here as an excuse. You know that uh, this is copyright material by Taito Technosoft and this and that, and therefore uh, I don't deserve any credit. It's not my game, you know. But you see, right here, he's trying to pretend. Oh, this was a pain in the ass to do. So to imply it was a lot of work to give him a blue eye. So he recognizes his work, that it was a lot of work for him to do, and I highly doubt that was himself who did that. Uh, Probably someone else helped him, because I know for a fact, not for a fact, but I'm very familiar with people like him who are giving all these bullshit speeches. Long, if you read all this bullshit, it's all talk, but with no substance. You know, he's just an idea man, okay? And all this idea man, all this. All these idea people, you know, I have seen this so many times, the same bullshit, you know. All these idea people, they have ideas, but they are not doing anything by themselves. This is why he's mentioning also he's resembling a team and this and that to work, because by himself he, this is what these people do, you know. They just think they have their ideas, and they think they can take something that is there, and the people don't deserve credit, and they are using as excuse that, oh, it's a copyrighted material. But again, in this very topic, where he was searching for ways, where he was searching for tools to make it so that if he when he releases this bullshit he's trying to do, if he releases it, okay, he was trying to find a tool to hide the fact, so to make the files of the game inaccessible, so you cannot extract them and not see what it's in there, you know. And all that just in order to hide the fact, because he thinks this way he can he can hide the fact that he's using my game and my assets and all the stuff, you know. Which is actually bullshit, trying to hide it anyway. But in this very topic, my point is in this very topic where he was looking for this tool in order to be able to hide all this stuff, you know, in this very topic, the people right here, they're explaining right, in very detail, way better than I can explain why it is bullshit. All this about IPs and this and that. Why this all a bullshit excuse. And I'm sure he read all this. This is why I know because he was interested here in this topic. Okay, because he posted something as you can see here. Unless he deleted this after I mentioned it, no, his post is still there. So he was looking here. He was interested here how to use this tool in order to make the game files inaccessible, so no one can extract the game files and see the content, okay, of the game if he will release it, okay. So and all this just in his desperate attempt to hide the fact that he's using my game, you know. This is how scammy these people are. and and exactly in this topic, in this thread here where he was looking for this how to use this tool, people are discussing about the reasons why it's ethical or good for someone to make the contents of the game inaccessible. And therefore they were then discussing about, because someone brought up right here that okay, the IP it does not belong to us and this and that for the sprites. And yes, this is true, but here DC is giving a good example of explanation about why this is all bullshit. That we don't have rights, we the creators, because we are using copyrighted material, we don't have rights about the games. I mean, this is really a stupid thing to say or think, you know. Imagine spending time ripping sprites and this and that, and gathering all the resources by yourself, you know, and code the game, create all the game, and then just a little piece of shit like this guy comes along and just saying, pretending like, oh no, you don't have rights about your game, you know, I can do whatever I want. I mean, sure, he can do whatever he wants, but I mean, from a ethical standpoint, you know, that I don't have rights about my game, that's bullshit. But also from a legal standpoint, I have rights, as DC is explaining very well here. I have rights from the whole code I put together. Uh, Technosoft or Taito, this guy is mentioning, okay, he's trying to mention they're having rights about, of course, about the sprites, okay. But I'm not talking about the rights about the IP. I'm talking about the work I made for him to have this sprite ready to go here for the game to use. This is what I'm talking about. And also I'm talking, but again, the sprite itself is not important. The important thing is about this whole game right here. You can see in this screenshot, this whole game he took my work, which about many years in order to create this game, okay. All the work, and not only the work and time, but the code, okay. All the code apart by himself. This doesn't, the copyright doesn't is not copyright protected by Taito and Technosoft. This is my of course I did not file a copyright protection, but I have a rights to my code. You know what I mean? If we are gonna talk legal bullshit and so. But again, it's not like I'm gonna play a legal game here. I mean, it's clear as day, you know. But I just wanted to point out here all this bullshit because I'm debugging all this bullshit. He said, and he's writing all this bullshit. And again, to me, it's not a big deal to like try to. It's not about misstating necessarily, trying to explain this, because I think for the most normal people, this is obvious. These things that I'm explaining should be obvious, okay. But what I want to point out mostly is this way of thinking this guy has and how malicious he is, and how he's responding to my videos. You know, every time I'm exposing his bullshit and this sleazy things he's trying to do here, you know, how he's behaving, and his reaction is another one of this bullshit behavior, you know, because and also this tells a lot about this person, how he sees while he's pretending to be here in this community, and he's trying to create a team and this and that to make games. But in reality, this is how much he does not, because that's the thing about all this stuff. It's not about me um, uh, explain and prove that I'm right, and it's not about that. But it's about to point out how malicious and how he does not give a shit, and completely disregarding and does not have any regard for the work people like me and other people who are parting to creating these games, while he's pretending to. And this is the thing I'm trying to pointing out. And right here, this is a good example. This statement he's making here, this is, and this is what I'm trying to point out. This is his way of thinking. This is how he thinks about people who are making games. He does not give a shit. He completely disregarding, and for everyone who is gonna help him doing anything, he will find himself doing the whole work, and this guy, he will just remain the idea guy. He will try to control everything, but he will not doing anything by himself, because he knows there are a lot of guys like him around, you know, who are just trying to steal, and he's one of these guys. And these are the people who can only just take what is there and destroy it, and they are never creating anything by themselves, you know. And this statement right here that I have marked out, this is showcasing it very well, what the way he is thinking. When you see this, and then you see this statement he's making right here, while he's trying to pretend he got much prize from this website. Okay, and you see this highlighted text, what he's stating. When you see someone stating this bullshit, you know he does not give a shit, he does not respect the work of other people. And he's using this bullshit excuse in order for him to pretend it's okay to steal. And this was for me the point when I contacted him at his YouTube. This was for me the point. Uh, this was for me the point where I told him, okay, you do not have my consent. All your ideas are great, and this and that. You wanna do this stuff, do it. You don't have my permission to use my game. That's it. Simple as that. We don't have to argue, okay? Because again, he went ballistic. He started to insult me. The moment I just told him, okay, you open this new topic and you're not mentioning me or my game, this is not a right thing to do. And then he immediately came up with this excuse, you know, oh, you don't own the IP, the IP, like I just showcased in this topic, you know. This was his excuse. And this is what I said, okay, you know what, you don't have my permission. If you think like that, if you are one of these people, I don't have to discuss further, because as you can see from this, and this is also the reason why I'm making this video, to showcase every day all the shenanigans, all this bullshit these people do. Because when you watch this, when you witness all this bullshit, they are trying to every day to come up with new ways to hide all this bullshit, to hide and deceive and tell lies and stuff, you know. Then the more you see it, uh, the more you realize also how far these people can go, you know. They just coming out from nowhere, and they are taking other people's work, and they can lie and be they can go like they can go so far with it, you know. They don't know where to stop, you know. And sometimes I'm just thinking, okay, you know what, you wanna play like this, I'm just keep exposing this bullshit, you know. And this is also I think this guy, because I had this with many people over the years. Again, this was my game is already almost 10 years old, okay? It's already for 10 years out. So I had to deal with such people with exactly the same bullshit so many times, you know? And this was just an opportunity for me to document this, to have it documented also, you know? This is why I'm making this video, to showcase to people in real time how these people acting, what they are doing, and how shitty it is. Okay, and if you are someone who is making a game, just as sad as it is, again, my games, I intentionally did not make it so that you cannot extract the files and not you cannot see the files. I intentionally did not secure the game like that because I wanted again to give people opportunity to check the insides of the game and take also resources and this is that because I don't have a problem with it. Okay, again, my game meant also to be a good resource because as I showcased in this sprite resource website, you cannot find all the stuff, all the sprites and all the stuff from Double Dragon games, okay? And in my game I have everything. I ripped everything myself, everything is there, you know? So it was meant as a good gesture from my side, you know? But still, because you see all this bullshit, is, people are doing all this bullshit for every other creator out there who is thinking of creating anything, let this be an example. And as hard as it is, even if you will try to do the right thing like I did by providing everything, having everything free to use and stuff, you know, I will rather advise you to not do this. And if you create something, just make it so that people cannot access the files and cannot edit, so you will not have to deal with all this bullshit. Because that's the sad truth nowadays. If you create something good, something nice, and you think it's yours, no, motherfucker, it's not. Because someone else, like this piece of shit, will show up and will pretend it's his work and his stuff, and you don't matter and stuff. No matter how much work you did part on it, you know. And this is the stuff that stunts creativity, okay? And yeah, I find it sad, but also again, I'm making also these videos not only from the educational side of things, but also I also find funny every day how he's reacting after he's watching these videos I'm making, you know, and exposing all this bullshit. And as I saw in 2 days in a row, every time I'm doing this video, he's coming back and re-editing, he's trying to recording, he's trying to come up with new ways to say again the same thing and pretending like he's not using my game and he's doing his totally new thing that has nothing to do with my game, even though, again, he's clearly using it. He's just a little sad fool, you know, he's just making a fool of himself. Anyways, that was it for today, and I hope this time this video will have sound and I don't have to redo it. This is it, guys. See ya.